did your first collab? It's my
Second.
Is it?
Your first?
Yeah.
First virgin over here.
Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. So I am joined by Emily from Style Lobster. We're blogger mates, would you say?
We've been on a few trips together.
Yeah, we always end up chatting about dating and relationships in particular. And I think we're both a similar age. We're both living in London, have been dating, used the whole apps. And so I thought it would be really nice for you guys to send in your questions via Instagram stories, and we're going to answer some of them today.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
It's like my favourite topic, dating.
Yeah, same. I love it so much. Also, we're filming a video over on Emily's channel all about mental health.
Mental health questions, some of our experiences, and again, Instagram users' questions all about mental health.
I'll leave a link to that down below, you can go and check out. So let's have a look. Okay, this one. If a date goes wrong and you're not feeling it, how do you end the night? And this is a really great one because I've been on so many dates where I'm like, I'm so bored. I know this is not going to work. I know, like, I can't be bothered, but I'm too awkward to be like, actually, I don't. Like, how do you do it?
I'm quite a confident person, and I would feel awkward about saying, do you know what, hon? It's not for me. I think also it comes with being a woman as well. Like, you feel quite vulnerable being out with a man on a date and actually saying, in a way, I'm rejecting you. Like, I feel like, what if he just fucking flips and like I'm in a bad position, I might have had a bit to drink, I don't know. So I've noticed actually there's this thing called Angela that's happening in a lot of, like,
I love
clubs.
this. Yeah, they have posters in the back of like the girls' toilets, which is amazing.
Basically the concept is, if the bar is on the scheme, you go up to the bar and you just say, I'm looking for Angela, and they know then that you're in a situation or a date that you don't want to be in anymore, and they'll help you get out, whether that's coming up to you at the table and being like, oh, your friend's just run the pub, there's an emergency or something like that. Yeah. But if they don't do that scheme, then what do you do?
You could either, so I always text my mum on a date, and she would be more than happy to call and be like, come home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it's just the most common one is taking a trip to the bathroom and texting your friend, like, call me in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Even like text 5 friends just in case that 4 of them aren't at their phone, and then you're on the date for an extra like 5 hours or whatever. Yeah. I mean, I think people are like, oh, I've got a headache, I'm gonna go home, but that's fairly obvious. Like, the phone call's always a little bit more.
Yeah. But I don't know, depending on the guy and if you think he will take it okay, you could just say, look, I'm just, I don't know, not feeling it. Yeah.
You could be honest, but that's, I guess, up to you whether or not you feel totally safe and confident in the situation.
So this question says, do you think people these days are scared of monogamy? What do you think?
I think that's a really good question. And I think as we grow up and our like millennial status comes into play and we're like getting a little bit older, I don't think people are scared of monogamy. I just think we are spoilt for choice.
Absolutely.
So it's like nobody wants to settle anymore. No. Like back in our parents' day, they would be like 2 dates, it's like, this is the man I'm gonna marry. Yeah. Whereas we have all these apps and we're dating, nobody wants to settle. So I think that's maybe why people aren't like leaning into monogamy as much.
Yeah, like there's always the thought that you could find someone else better at the swipe of the finger. Yeah. I mean, app dating is amazing because you meet so many people that you don't necessarily meet otherwise, but for that fact,
I know so many girls and like myself included, I'll be going on a date with a few guys, and like one of them I might really like, but I'm still swiping. I don't want to let the opportunity go that someone else is better out there. So I'm like, I might really like him, and I'm like having a great time, but I'm still like active on Hinge. But you know what? Isn't it really shitty when you're on a date with like when you've had a really good time with someone and then you see that their status is online or they've last seen is like, oh, well, what, are they still looking too? It's like kind of just like this weird cycle where we're all just like running away from settling down because we're always worried we're missing out on something better.
When in a long-term relationship, how do you stop things going stale in the bedroom? This is a sexy one.
What was your longest relationship?
So I've had quite a few. I've had 2 4-year relationships. Okay. And obviously it's natural that after that long with someone it is going to get a bit repetitive perhaps.
You've got to put the work in.
Yeah. So one of the things I did in my last relationship was when we weren't having much sex, to be honest, towards the end, and so I literally, he came home, I knew when he was coming home from work, I was cooking dinner in heels and underwear, and he literally walked,
a little pinny.
Yeah, literally, and he walked through the door and was like, he was not expecting it at all, and he was like, we need to go and have sex, and I was like, the dinner's gonna burn, and he was like, I don't give a shit.
The dinner.
Yeah, and it was amazing. So little stuff like that.
Yeah. No, it's hard work keeping the fun alive is when you've been in a long-term relationship. My longest one was 6.5 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I remember getting maybe like things like getting a little bit boring maybe the 3rd year.
Yeah, that is when...
But to be completely honest, like that relationship for me was 21 to 27, 28, and like I was still finding out what I actually liked in the bedroom, but it was like more like he wasn't up for really experimenting anymore. So I think in a way that's one of the reasons we did split up in the end, is because I wasn't excited. It wasn't just stuff in the bedroom. It was like also like we weren't dating enough, because I think dating your partner even at 6 years
so important,
keeps the sex fresh, because dates are essentially one big foreplay tease, right?
Yeah, and so in my last relationship as well, one date night every single week.
Yeah,
so
no, that's really important.
Yeah,
it is, because I mean at the end of the day, that's the doorbell. Hold that thought, I've got a really good one and I'll come back to yeah, what I was going to say was, being in a long-term relationship without dating, it's like who's going to be in the mood for sex if you can't, when you come home from work and you just sort of fall into bed together and it's like...
You're both exhausted, you're knackered, you just...
There's no effort.
No.
And relationships need effort. Like, the minute you stop putting effort into your relationship, it shrivels up and dies like a plant. Literally.
Yeah. You've got to work at it. And also, toys are a great way to...
I was going to say that.
Bring something new and exciting in.
Yeah, and I've used sex toys in every relationship I've had, and every man's response to using sex toys in the bedroom has been different. Like,
really?
Yeah, like I had one partner who was so unbelievably up for it, he would actually get them out and be like, can I use this on you? Can I use this?
Oh,
like,
I love that.
He loved it. I've also been in a relationship where the guy was like absolutely like intimidated and felt like I was like demasculated by the use of the sex toys, and like it's really difficult trying to get a guy to understand that by using a sex toy doesn't take anything away from them at all.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's just for pleasure enhancement, not replacement.
How soon is too soon to have sex with someone you've been dating?
This is such a tricky question.
Really tricky.
There's no right answer either.
No, it's when you feel confident and comfortable with that person, I guess. And also depending on what you want, whether you like actively go into dates because you want to sleep with that person, absolutely fine. If you want to wait a little bit longer because you like them, you can do that too.
Sex is different for people. Like my friendship group, for example, you know, there's a few of us that are quite emotionally invested in sex and find it hard to like separate the two, you know, the physical act and the emotions. It's like when we're going to commit to the act, it's because we're actually emotionally invested in that person. And there's others in the group that are very much like not emotionally invested. In fact, I'm not even that attracted to him, but there's something there and I want to just scratch that itch, so we're gonna fuck. You know what I mean? Like it's like it can be either or. Like everyone has a different reason for sleeping with someone, but when it comes to like sleeping with them for the first time, I suppose it's just how you feel. You just got to be honest with yourself. Like no one wants to end up in a position where they're like, in the act started and then why am I calling it the act like I'm Victorian? The act has begun.
The act of
you know, you don't want to like not be sure and then it's happening and you're like, fuck, I want to get out of this situation immediately.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people get slut shamed by like having sex too soon. Terrible.
It's 2018, like everyone's allowed to enjoy sex, so
I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't wait too long to sleep with people.
No.
I think when I was younger I waited longer because I think for myself personally I put sex on the pedestal a little bit and I was a bit like, like it's this big thing and it's a commitment, and but as I get older my needs change and I'm more confident in my body and I understand that I'm a woman that can make my own choices and it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. The sooner I'm actually having sex with people.
Yeah, and also if you leave it too long then there is a real risk that, oh my god,
you're not vibing.
Yeah, and it's just not, like I had sex with someone on, I think it was our 4th date, and it was just...
Is that the one you told me about?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's like the worst.
It was not like...
And you know, you invested all that time and then it's like, you really liked the guy, didn't you?
Yeah, he was really sweet. And then I felt really bad and I was like, maybe it's me being like just too like picky, maybe it was just awkward because it was the first time. So I gave it another go and I was just like...
Did you?
Yeah.
It's still the same.
Even worse.
Even what?
And I was just like, no, that's it. Yeah.
That's it. Oh, do you know what? It happens. This happened to my friend the other day actually as well, and she was on a date with someone and it was the worst sex she's ever had, and she was like, I'm never seeing this man again, but he's so nice, he had the apartment, the humour, the intelligence, all of it, and she was like, but he literally like shagged me like a bunny rabbit. He didn't even know where her clitoris was, and she was like, I almost felt like I should like be a bit of a Samaritan and be like, okay,
teach him, yeah.
Teach him.
He needs to be taught.
In the end, life is short and she had shit to do. So.
Love that. Is it okay to date more than one person at a time?
You saucy bitch. Yeah, I think it's totally fine. I think in this day and age, like, we're not married to these men. Like, there's no obligation to anyone. It's just the point of dating is to find someone that you get on with. And if that means, like, seeing a few people at the same time, so be it.
Unless you're both physically said we're in a relationship now, then you can date as many people as you like. And also, I've spoken to a lot of girls who seem to get different things out of different dates. So one guy she sees because she really likes his ex, and one guy she sees because she really has a laugh with him.
Ex?
No, really likes the sex.
Oh! I was like, that's a bit fucked up.
Yeah, she's using him to get like, so that's absolutely fine, and you don't owe anyone anything.
No, you don't.
If you want to keep seeing.
Yeah, and I think, you know, there'll be a point where you might want to end things with other people because something becomes a little bit more serious with the other person.
Yeah.
It's just about having a chat, I suppose.
And also being honest about it. Like I've said, I love asking my dates, like, if they've been on any bad dates, and like just kind of like tell them as well that I'm still actively dating. Like, I don't know.
Lots of people will shy away from that type of conversation because it can be quite awkward date chat, especially if someone's on a different page to you. I guess that's why it's good to establish it early on.
At the beginning, yeah.
But yeah, I just think everyone needs to be honest about it, where they are, and if someone's not comfortable with you seeing other people, then they should just stop seeing you, I guess.
Yeah, or have that chat, and if you're not feeling it, then that's that. This is interesting. What are your thoughts on asking or telling a partner your number of sexual partners?
I'm always really keen to know.
Are you?
Yeah, I think lots of girls aren't, but I really want to know.
Why?
This is going to sound really weird, but I feel like the more women a man's been with, like, the sexier it is.
Oh.
Yeah, but I know some women are quite opposite. They're like, oh, the less the better. And there's always that concept as well that women take down their number and men increase their number.
Yeah.
I just want to know. Like, I'm a nosy bastard. I'm like a bit of a control freak, so I like to like know where I stand with it all. And I don't mind telling my number to men as soon as they ask. I'm not precious about it.
I feel like 5 years ago, if I was dating, then I'd be like, I want to know. But now I really don't care.
Really?
I really don't care. No, I think I've changed a lot in the last, like, since my last relationship. In that, I feel like a lot of girls want to know to kind of gauge. It's kind of like a jealousy thing, isn't it? You want to gauge like how much competition you have, or like who you're being compared against.
Yeah, like how experienced is he versus me?
Yeah.
But actually, numbers aren't about sexual experience at all.
No, because you could have loads of sex with one partner over the course of a couple of years. So
no, I think it is. I think you're right. The number is irrelevant. I just want to know out of nosiness, I think.
What was your worst date and why?
I have no bad dates.
Are you serious?
I mean, there's been dates when I'm like not into him, but that's as bad as it gets. I still have a good time. But the worst date I had was with a photographer who on paper seemed like a really great guy, and we had so much fun chat before we met, and then I literally met him and I was like, you don't look anything like your pictures.
Oh, no.
I don't fancy you. But because we'd had so much fun on the chat, I stayed for the bants.
Yeah.
He did try and put moves on me by the end of it, we were getting on, and I was like, it's never going to happen, mate. But no, I've not had a bad date.
Oh my god.
I've just not fancied them. I bet you've got that.
What's happened to me? I think I'm like a magnet for bad dates. I don't know. My second ever Tinder date, I haven't actually told this story on my Dates with Kate series before.
Popcorn!
Yeah. So he was a theatre director, and we had loads in common, and I'd actually gone to see one of his plays before, like years before that. This was last year. And then we went on the date, it was fun, we got really drunk, and then we started talking about drugs, and he was like, have I told you this before?
No. I'm wondering where it's going.
I was like, I've never done drugs, and he was like, oh well, like some of them are really fun, and I was like, okay. And he was like, MDMA is amazing, and I was like, okay.
Oh my god, you're going to tell me he pulls some out?
No, he was like, he basically was like, how about on our second date, I'll get some MDMA and we can take it together, and like I'll be there and I'll guide you through it, and we'll have a really great deep experience. And I was like,
wow.
Like I just agreed, like being like, that's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, and then also anal sex is great on MDMA, and I was like,
Whoa, too much too soon.
I was like, what?
I mean, treat a girl to dinner before you want to fuck her up the arse.
No, but I was also like, if I'm going to do drugs for the first ever time, I'm going to do them with my friends. I'm not going to do them
trust.
Yeah, not with some random guy
He could rape you.
who wants to put his willy at my bottom. I don't know. I was just like, this is our first date. We did actually have a second date. Yeah, I know.
What happened?
He was like, I did try to get some MDMA, and I was like, you didn't, right? And he was like, no. And I was like, thank fuck for that. I was like, I'm not up for that. Good topics to talk about for first dates.
I mean, I'm assuming that before you meet the person, you've covered stuff like where they live, what they do. I'm quite funny about committing to a date. Like, I have to find out quite a lot of information before I go.
Wait, I'm the complete opposite.
See, maybe that's why you have bad first dates.
Do you think?
Maybe, because I know a lot of people that are like, oh, I met this guy, we chatted for like maybe a couple of messages and then he asked me out for a drink and we had a drink and it was awful. I literally vet them, I find out what they do, what their family situation is, like.
How do you go about that? This is on
just chat.
On app.
Yeah, it's all on apps. I don't know, I'm not like there like with like 21 questions like, I'm not going to date you till you answer all of these. I'm not like that. Like, it's quite a subtle thing that I do, but I will have 7 days worth of chats before committing to a date.
Whoa.
7 days.
Okay, so that's where I'm going wrong.
Honestly, it solves weeds out the time wasters. It really does. And if you're still interested in chatting to them on day 7, you know it's going to be a good date.
I prefer to find that all out on the first date because it means that you're not going to run out of things to talk about because you haven't really spoken about anything already.
Yeah, but I think that if you're going to get on, you won't run out of things to talk about.
Yeah, that's true. But it just takes the awkwardness of, I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's where I'm going wrong.
In terms of first date chats, I think it's always really nice to hear from them, like, what excites them, you know, and like if they're really passionate about their job, then it's if they're passionate about something, as soon as you find something that they're passionate about, like, the conversation flows.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a questions person. I'm always like, oh, and how do you feel about that? That sounds amazing. Did you look at it from And like, I make it so easy for my dates to like have a good time.
Yeah.
I wish people would do that for me more.
Oh, the amount of dates I've been on where the guy hasn't. I went on a date last night. I sound like I'm doing so much dating. I went on a date last night. It took him 45 minutes to ask me even what I did for work.
Oh, fuck.
Like, and I was like, I was just sitting there listening to him ramble, and I was just like, you don't even know what I do. Like, it was really weird. I always ask the guys if they've got any bad date stories because I feel after a couple of drinks because I feel like it makes it a bit more like fun. You can have a proper laugh. It tells you a little bit more about them as well. And
good one.
A good question to ask is what is their. I mean, it sounds so stupid, but you can learn a lot about someone by asking what their favourite holiday is. Because if they're like, oh, I went to Ibiza with my lads and we went to a rave, and then you know that that's like their priorities. Whereas if they're like, I went on a holiday with my family to like, I don't know. That was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like you can gauge a lot.
You can also find out where they are in their life. If like going to Ibiza on a bender, doing loads of drugs and getting loads of women, if is their thing still, then maybe they're not in the place for a serious relationship.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that one?
When in a relationship, do you get self-conscious when you haven't shaved?
What they're trying to say is, like, at what point in the relationship can you like be a little bit more relaxed about letting your pubic hair grow in? I don't know about you, but I know everyone's got different tastes, but for most of my 20s, I was getting rid of everything.
Yeah.
Sadly, I think was expected.
Yeah, you feel like you have to.
Yeah, like all your peers are doing it, and men get used to it.
Yeah.
And then I started dating a guy who was 36, and he said he actually remembered the point in time in the 90s when women, he was like starting out with girls, and he said he remembers a point very, very poignantly in his mind when women had bushes and then suddenly there was just nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, that's so interesting. Obviously, he's an older guy, so he had this experience to share with me. I'd only been with guys at my age, and they'd always expected like clean shaven. And I asked him what his preference was, but he's like, I actually think a little bit of hair is quite sexy and feminine and like womanly. And I was like, okay, so I started trying it. I grew a little bit back in, like it was more of like a strip, but like a bigger one, not like a teeny like Brazilian. And I just got so comfortable with it. It made me really accept the fact that I do have pubic hair like everyone else in the world, and that I don't need to like panic to get rid of it, right?
No.
So then that relationship ended, and I just kept my pubic hair.
Oh, really?
Right? Yeah, I was like, fuck it, I'm a woman, I enjoy this, I like it more than getting rid of it. So I started dating again, keeping the pubic hair, and it was really surprising the amount of men that I think, when asked, were like, oh yeah, I was a little bit surprised to see that. And I was like really disappointed. So with my current guy that I'm seeing, I've been adamant that I'm keeping it.
Good,
and he was one of the people that was like, oh, I'm used to seeing girls with nothing. And I was like, well, I ain't a girl, I'm a woman, and you're gonna take it how it is. And now if I rocked up with no pubes, he'd be like, what? He actually really likes it. I think it's like natural for men to actually accept and enjoy a woman with pubic hair, because we are women, we're not little girls at the end of the day. I think men are just socially conditioned to see nothing, and that's why
see
there's
hair
pressure.
as dirty, or I don't know, but it's
like we don't take care of ourselves or something.
It's not that at all. Also, like shaving's like horrible.
Yeah.
And I've never had wax either.
Oh, waxes are so painful.
Quickly, what is your favourite dating app? I think we've both got the same favourite.
1, 2, 3. Hinge.
It's amazing.
It's quite new, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons I love it so much, is because the calibre of people on there are so much higher, because it hasn't reached the masses.
Yeah. And also the interface is so much nicer. Like you get this like really nice, clean, black and white like feed almost, and it's like there's opportunity. It's like profile, but like people actually put time into it. Like like make funny like comments, and like you get to see smoking status, whether they drink, if they have kids, their religion.
Drugs. I love that. If anyone says on their profile like yes to the like little weed or pill symbol, I'm like immediately no. Like,
and it might be a sign of the times and how picky we are and how like cutthroat we are with dating, but it does speed the process up. If people are willing to put that amount of info about them on their profile, then it really does show like a little bit maturity and like that they're actually in this to date rather than just a quick fuck and then ghost you.
Also, one thing I find really interesting about Hinge is, so you have to answer questions on your profile, and then you have pictures as well, and people can specifically like your questions and answers or one of your pictures. And I've got a picture up there of me in a bikini and I look hot, and I know that if a guy likes that picture over anything else on my profile, that he's just in it for the sex, you know what I mean? And I quite like gauging that as well.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. It's a good conversation starter to see what type of what appeals to them. I've got one of me running into platform 9 3/4 at Harry Potter World, and I'm literally backwards looking so weird, and my face is blurred, and I'm like cross-eyed, but the amount of people like that picture, then I'm like, he's a funny guy, like he gets my humour.
I love Hinge.
I thought you were married. You were getting married. You were getting married, weren't you?
Yeah,
once upon a time.
Yeah. I thought you were married, but you were going on dates. What happened? I ended that relationship.
Is there a vlog on it?
Oh, I was made to take them all down by said ex. Yeah, he made me take all of them.
Shit.
Let's do a quick and easy one. How old were you when you lost your virginity?
No, I'm gonna have been older than you.
Oh, do you reckon?
Yeah.
I was. I think I was just turned 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 17.
Because I feel like everyone I knew was kind of doing it.
I felt the pressure immensely at 17. Like that was like quite late, and then obviously it was a year away from being 18, which is technically an adult. So I was like, I need to do this quick, but I'm glad I didn't rush it.
Yeah, I didn't kiss a guy till I was 15.
Okay.
Whereas all my friends were like snogging at like 13, 14, which sounds so young.
I remember like hearing about girls at 13 getting fingered, and I was just like,
no, I was way behind all that. 16 with my first love.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, no, my first time was good. I remember after it happened, I was like, why have I put this off for so long?
Oh,
that was my first thought. Yeah, I was like, it's not a big deal. Like I had built it up in my head a little bit. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't do it too soon, because I don't think I would have been ready. But then if you hold on to it for quite a while and you build it up in your head, then the opposite can happen, and then you're like afraid to actually go through with it. Yeah. So yeah, it happened at just the right time for me, and it was a good experience, but definitely never rush it.
I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have any more questions you would like me to answer, then leave a comment down below, because I'd like to make this a regular thing. And yeah, be sure to head over to Emily's channel to check out her video that we've done as well.
Yeah, exciting.
Lots of love.
Bye!